Okay, you're too stressed when you do it.
That could be a funny thing for this. Our breathing. I can't do it. I fucking hate it. It's like why I hate yoga. It's like, get the fuck on with it. When they tell me to close my eyes, I hate it.
Are you fucking kidding
I
me?
hate it. I'm like, I don't want to fucking close my eyes.
I got shit to do.
I got shit to do.
Yoga. You're doing yoga.
I'm exercise on the list. I'm not closing my eyes. Yeah, I hate it.
Welcome to Sharing My Truth with Mel and Susie, the uncensored version, where we bear it all.
We do.
Okay. I'm ready. Hello, and welcome back to Share My Truth Pod. You're here with Mel and Susie. I'm Susie, and that's Mel. And this is a little reminder to give us a little 5 stars. Little sexy little 5 stars. Supple and sexy. And tell us what you think. You can always go to our website, sharingmytruth.com. Send in your shares of anything, really. We want to hear it. DM us on Share My Truth Pod. Hey, babes.
Hello, darling.
Oh, I love when you call me darling.
Darling.
I miss you when you're not here, you know.
I know.
Isn't it weird?
Yeah.
We've been doing this just to give everyone a little update.
Yeah.
We've been doing this for over a year now.
Yeah, well, from not actually recording,
but figuring
concept,
it out
yes.
for over a year.
Yes.
And we thought this might be a good time to reintroduce Sharing My Truth Pod, the two of us.
The two of us.
And really just, reiterate how much we love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I think we have a lot of new listeners, which is amazing. And really just to kind of give the people what they want.
Absolutely.
Which is Melf's milfiness. Melf. That's your new name?
Melf the elf.
Melf.
Oh, it's all too much. So, Susie, who are you then?
Who am I? Well, I am a sweet and supple little millennial lady. Pretty sex positive. And I like to have fun.
You do.
And I find that I don't want to even be in a room and a situation for an hour if I'm not having fun. You know who said that?
I do. Who said that recently? Somebody said that recently, didn't they? Who the hell was that?
That was Kim Cattrall.
Yes.
But to be fair, fucking love her.
She's lived a bit of life. She can do what she likes.
But this is the thing. That is what I strive for.
Yes.
In my life.
But you need to strive. You're not there yet.
I'm almost
She's
there.
60, what is she, 65?
I don't know. She looks amazing.
Oh, she does. And she has a British boyfriend.
Good for her.
Power to her.
You're my British girlfriend.
That's true.
But yeah, that's pretty much who I am. If you want to think about it, I am the Kim Cattrall of this podcast.
Oh.
A little bit younger.
And who am I?
You're a bit a mix of Carrie and Charlotte.
Yes, I'd prefer.
You know that.
I'd prefer to be Charlotte.
She's more prude, though.
She is, but I think she's sort of a bit funny. I think Carrie, she's so neurotic.
Yeah, I know.
Is it Carrie or
stupid.
Carrie? Carrie? See, we all have these problems all the time.
The fuck are you saying? That was the same thing.
Carrie or Carrie?
Did anyone else hear a difference? Say it again.
Carrie or Carrie?
Oh, Carrie.
Carrie Bradshaw. Isn't she Carrie?
Carrie.
What's her
Carrie.
name? Brad?
Bradshaw.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
That's
so
good.
I'm going
Anyways.
nuts. Yeah. Anyway, who am I in that?
Mel, who are you?
Who am I generally?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, just
I'm
general.
I'm a Gen Xer.
Yeah.
I'm 50. I'm still 50. We're going to stick with that.
Yeah. She's almost 51.
I suppose, in a sense, on paper, I'm the opposite to you. I am older.
Mm-hmm.
I'm married. I've got 2 kids.
Mm-hmm.
I do a fuck of a lot of things I don't want to do.
But you like doing this podcast, right?
Yeah, I love
It's the
doing
one
this
thing you
podcast.
do.
No, I'm only joking.
Love.
I actually don't generally do that many things I don't want to do. To be fair, I don't. But I have strived.
Are you okay?
I'm losing my mind.
I love that.
I've strived to get to that point in my life.
Yes.
So on paper, we're very different, and
Good on paper.
We really shouldn't get along.
Bad
really.
in bed.
Thank you, Susie.
You're
honestly.
welcome.
We probably shouldn't get along as well as we do, should
No.
we? It doesn't
I
make
don't
a lot of
know.
sense.
It's weird, right? I remember when we first met.
Yeah.
And okay, if people don't know how Mel and I met, we met through her husband,
Mhm.
which I love to tell the story because people are fascinated. Whenever anyone finds out that I have a podcast, I'm usually half embarrassed because I'm like, oh my God, you listen to the things that I talk about. And then I get over that. And then they're like, so how did you meet?
This 50-year-old British woman?
It's like
It's just
so
it's bizarre.
mind-boggling to
It's
anyone
bizarre.
because
It
they're like,
is.
you guys obviously don't run on the same social circles.
Yeah.
Like obviously like if you had kids my age, that would make more sense.
Yes. I don't.
But you don't. They're obviously a lot younger than I am. But like, yeah, it just doesn't make sense. So I just,
sense.
you know, I met her husband, her absolutely fabulous, lovely husband at a weird little happy hour where we had mutual friends at, which is also very weird.
Yeah.
And we started talking about sex,
Yes.
but not in a weird way.
No.
It was in like they have, I don't even know how to explain it. You have sex businesses. Can I say that, Mel?
That sounds a little weird. That sounds definitely a bit weird. So I have some like sex toy sites and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So is that what you were talking about?
That's exactly what we're talking about. And I don't know how we got into this topic, but we obviously had a couple glasses of wine. We thankfully got into the right
Sex
corner.
businesses.
I was like, I don't know how to describe this. But yeah, we got into the same corner, started talking, and I had done previous YouTubes of like kind of educational, sexy YouTube stuff.
Yeah.
And I just love sex in every single way. The educational part, the, you know, professional part, the porn star part, all of it.
Yes.
Entertainment. I love it. So having these conversations with open, fun people like your husband was like a joy to be at a weird, random happy hour where I didn't know anyone.
Yeah.
So he texts me after that and he's like, I think you should be my wife. She's always wanted to do a podcast.
Yes. Yeah.
I think you should meet.
Yeah. That's pretty much what happened.
How did you come to this? I don't even know. How did you come to this decision? Did he bring this up?
To what? To do a podcast or to meet you?
Both.
I'd thought about it for a long time because I suppose I'm an entrepreneur.
Yes, you are, darling.
And the marketing kind of world.
Mm-hmm.
And I have lots of different kind of websites. I'm very much into digital marketing, which is why I have some sex toy sites, which became sort of around just before COVID, and during COVID, obviously those things became very successful.
Yeah.
People were turning to that kind of stuff. And I've always been very open-minded about stuff, which is contrary to the way I sound. I think people think sound like the Queen, who obviously is dead.
Well, you're very posh.
But, you know, yeah, so I shouldn't be open-minded about sex. I should be weird about stuff or just relationships and stuff. And I wanted to do a podcast because I thought it's such a great medium to talk.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't see a lot of female podcasts where they were talking about sex in a normal way and relationships. Yeah. And we did initially. Our conversations were going to be broader, and then it's become very much about sex because that's what everyone wants to talk about. Yeah. But I think the thing I was really interested in is the idea of a multi-generational conversation, a conversation from a Gen X to millennial, because I think we talk a lot these days about the generations. You know, you're a Gen Z, you're a boomer, you're a this. When I was growing up, nobody knew what those bloody generations. Nobody talked like that. Mm-hmm. But I think there's a lot of misunderstanding. And there's a lot of millennials hating boomers, disliking Gen Xers, or not thinking whatever they
not
think.
understanding anything about any generation but their own.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's very much highlighted because of social media. And the thing to me that struck me is that actually we could probably all, if we listen to each other, learn something and maybe get along a bit better. But I also just thought a conversation between two women, that we weren't really being anti-men. That the thing that really bothered me is a lot of female podcasts. I see a lot of anti-male stuff, like all your problems as a woman are because of men.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's not fair. It's not true. I mean, obviously...
We are the problem. It's us.
Of course, yeah. I mean, of course, there are things that men are responsible for and there are things that women are responsible for. But, of course, it's not everything. And you see it all over social media all the time. Women going on about this man, he's an arsehole, or I can't find a boyfriend, or... all of that all the time. And I don't like that. And I just wanted to be more positive. So not just sex positive, but about being positive, about talking about sex, about not bashing other people for their values and ideas, and also to be judgment free.
Yeah.
And to find somebody like you was not easy.
Well, that's what's crazy about it. And that's why it's just written in the stars.
It was random.
That's literally all we can say about it.
Yeah.
It's literally, we didn't plan on this for years. We hadn't known each other for any time at all. I think I met Max, your husband.
Yeah.
I met him in like June or something. I met him in the summer.
Something
And
like
then
that.
we met in like August.
Mm.
We had like a drinks thing, which
Yeah.
was so funny. And then we just started in like September.
Yeah,
Just
and
to
then I
like
think
getting
we
together.
And then we sort of met again. And I think the thing was we just instantly got along.
Yeah. And
And
it was so
so-
weird.
And like I said, on paper,
Yeah.
we shouldn't get along. And you've had all your friends ask me, the amount of people that have asked me.
Yeah. They're
It's
like,
like,
where the fuck did you
how-
meet this weird millennial
How the
sexual
hell-
person?
Exactly. How do you know this woman? And you're like, well, it's not really that complicated. I mean,
I know. You know
met-
what's funny too, though? People don't go out anymore and talk to people.
Yes.
And I am
Yeah.
a huge talker, like you,
Obviously,
like
yeah.
your husband. I don't shut the fuck up.
Yes.
Great people for podcasting, obviously.
Obviously.
It's-
Obs.
But
Yeah.
so it's just, I think that's a big thing where it's like people are like, how the fuck? It's like, well, we just started talking and then we figured out we had shit in common and then we could actually do something with that.
Yeah.
And that was amazing.
Yeah. I mean, I've always been a believer that if you don't kind of put yourself out there or step outside your comfort zone or
Mhm.
talk to people or start conversations, nothing's ever going to happen.
Exactly.
Those conversations aren't always going to be good or go into the right place, or it's like you start a business, it's not always going to succeed. But if you don't
Fucking try.
nothing's
Yeah.
going to happen. And I think we're both similar in that respect.
Yeah.
And we do have a lot of fun making the podcast.
No, I don't have any fun with you, Mel.
It's horrendous, isn't it?
We have a couple G&Ts. We have a couple glasses of saucer. And we... and we have a little fun.
So what have you learned about the Gen Xers then, Susie, from your interaction with me?
Well-
Do you know any other... You know other Gen Xers other than me.
Not really.
Am I your first?
I mean, it's weird, right? Because it's like I have older millennial, cousins,
Hmm.
I guess.
It'd be like for the
It's
oldest...
weird because my parents are older, right? So,
Yes.
I don't have a lot of Gen X people that I just know.
Yeah, because I think that's the weird thing about Gen X is that, you're a millennial, your parents are likely... I know your parents aren't... Are they boomers?
Yeah.
They are boomers. They're likely to be boomers because the oldest Gen Xer is 58. No, not
Right.
58. They're born in 1965.
Do the math. Do the math.
I was
We're
born
both-
in 1972 and I'm 50.
Yeah.
So something like 58.
Okay.
Something like that.
I'm like,
And
sure.
the oldest millennial is like 42 or something like that.
Sure. Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
A little bit older than 40, I think. So the youngest Gen X, you know what?
Are you just going to look this
I'm
up
gonna
right now?
bloody look it up because
Yeah.
I'm just talking a load of bollocks.
No, it's really funny.
But because, and the Gen X is obviously, we're a tiny generation,
Yeah.
and millennials are a big generation, and boomers are a big generation.
Gen X is the generation known for doing nothing.
Yeah, we're
Isn't
known.
that what it is?
Well, we're known for being a bit pissed off with everything, I think.
It's so funny.
But I think because our generation most of my friends actually, their parents are boomers.
Which is, boomers are huge.
Old boomers, yeah. But my
huge thing,
parents are
yeah.
not. My parents are in their 80s, so they're silent generation before. But of course
I don't know
that,
what that fucking is.
yeah. So my mother was born in 1938.
Wow.
I know, isn't that crazy? My dad was born in 1939. And most of my friends, their parents were born in the 40s.
Right.
So that, depending when in the 40s, makes you a boomer. I'm actually just going to...
Yeah. I
Okay,
mean,
that's very wrong.
the thing about us is that for whatever the fuck reason
Yes.
we met,
Yes.
we got along,
yes.
and we
did.
decided to start this fucking stupid ass podcast.
Fucking stupid. That's positive. Thanks.
It's my
Susie.
favorite thing ever.
So here we go. So, shit, you see, and I'm doing a really Gen X thing here. Where I
She's keeping the phone a meter away from her face.
So the greatest generation, 1901 to 1927. That really is very old. The silent generation, 1928 to 1945. So that's my parents.
Oh, right.
The baby boomers is 1946 to 1964.
Yeah.
Gen X is 1965 to
You're
1980.
right.
So 1980 is quite, I'm 1972. That's 8 years younger than me. So yeah, it's like 42 or something. And your generation is 1981 to 1996.
Yeah, so I'm like right at the cusp
You're right at the cusp. You're
of being
very
a millennial.
young millennial.
But it's the weirdest thing because I do not, I feel like I do not have anything in common with Gen Zs.
Yeah, it's interesting. So Gen Z, so both my children are Gen Zs, 1996 to 2012. And I think, well, the biggest difference basically, I think, is around technology.
It's a very, you can see the difference so much. Maybe that's just me being super judgmental or what.
Yeah.
But I've always gotten along with older people. And I don't know if that's because I've had older parents. I had an older brother. I was the child. So I could kind of like,
It probably is.
you know what I mean? You see older people around all the time.
Yeah.
And so I've always wanted to be older my entire life. I've always just had that maturity thing of like wanting to be older than I was at every single age. Like literally I didn't want to be in a stroller when I was like a 3-year-old because I was like, I'm not a baby. I don't want to do this.
I can so see that.
It's just like so ridiculous. But yeah, that's why we get along. It's so stupid.
I definitely think. I mean, it's funny what you're saying. Like, what's the difference between Gen Xers and millennials? I think the thing about Gen Xers, and this is where I talk about, what we're learning from each other, is we have this stupid idea that you sort of have to suffer through everything.
Yeah.
Like, there's this real idea of like, oh, I'm just like blamed with all this stuff, gloom and doom. And I think, and we're too far that way, and millennials are too far the other way. So from our point of view, it's like everything has to come very easily to the younger generations. Like it doesn't. Like you want to buy a house, it's got to be right, absolutely perfectly in the right area, in the right thing. Well, that's not going to happen if you're young.
It's all just generational trauma.
Yeah, but it is. But I think it's all around technology. I mean, if you think of stuff like Uber and Uber Eats, which drive me mad.
Well, convenience came, it started in your generation, but it fledged in mine. That like literally, yeah, exactly. Uber Eats, Uber, anything at the fucking literal tip of your finger.
You can eat, meet somebody, sleep with somebody.
It's crazy.
Buy anything. I mean, the thing that's so hard.
Sleep with somebody, literally, yeah.
Yeah. That's so difficult for me to get my head around is stuff like, you've got your phone and you're going to order McDonald's and you're going to get somebody to deliver it to you for a $15 surcharge when you could get off your arse and walk round to the McDonald's and buy this crappy food and take it away with you. That's the difference with the generations. We just don't understand why in God's name you're going to buy McDonald's starting.
Personally, I don't do that.
Number one. But number two.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you live in the middle of the woods.
No, that doesn't
and
make
you're
sense.
ordering, and they're not going to come to the middle of the woods with your McDonald's anyway. But you'll see. I remember once this friend of mine went absolutely crazy because her daughter, who's older than my kids, ordered a toasted bagel with butter.
No.
Yeah. In Toronto from her house to a place.
No.
Which is a 7-minute walk if you're going slow. So she ordered off Uber Eats a toasted buttered bagel to the house. So the bagel, which probably, I mean, I don't know when she ordered it. If she went into the store, what would it be? $5? $6? Yeah. I don't know. By the time it gets to the house and you've added the delivery, the tax, the tip, I mean, it's a $25 fucking bagel. And she just lost her shit.
I mean,
as I would.
What about the parent, though, that put that fucking app on her child's phone?
Yeah, but it's impossible.
I
to
know.
Not. What you can do is you don't put your credit card
you
in the app. I mean, you see so many parents. I mean, one of my daughters at university, and it kills me, like these kids who are just ordering Uber Eats all the time. And have you any idea how much that costs? What
they don't.
And I drive my children mad by saying, so you do the math times 7 days a week times 3 meals. I'm like, oh God, Mom. Yeah, but that's the reality of life. That's our generation. We're really depressing.
I can't hear that on you, and you sound extremely joyful.
Well, yeah, exactly. We're depressing, aren't we? Depressing. So what I'm going to tell you, though, the thing I really, obviously, I like about you, I really appreciate about you. There are many things.
Okay, go ahead.
But I think me, on a personal level, or many people can learn from you, is that you are very connected to who you are. And you don't shy away.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, this is who I am. I'm totally connected to who I am and the way I want things. And, particularly in the sexual sphere, because that's what we talk about. But you're very connected to it. And I think 95% of people have real problems with that.
Which is so interesting to me.
Yeah.
But you're the very similar way, right? Like, you don't really give a fuck what people think.
I don't, but I don't now. I wouldn't say I've always been like that.
Right.
At all. I think it's taken me quite a long time to get to where I am.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't like that before. And I wouldn't say I was that connected to who I was at your age, for sure.
I mean, it's a very interesting thing. I think I just woke up one day and I was like, fuck it. Like, that was it. I was like, and I think because I was bullied in like elementary school.
For what?
Just kids are mean. And
They
like,
are mean.
and I'm not.
What do they
I
bully
think
you
people
for?
are too nice these days, to be honest. Like,
Right.
yeah, maybe a little bullying. Maybe this is just me being a bitch, but like maybe it's going to do you some good because
You mean toughen you up a bit?
just toughen you up. Like, I had boomer parents. They weren't millennial parents. They weren't Gen X parents where they're like, and I wasn't going to say I wasn't spoiled, but like the way of like, they toughen you up a bit.
Yeah.
I'm more independent that way. And I appreciate that about myself. But yeah, I'm like, I just, you kind of have to be like, if they're laughing at me, then I'm going to laugh at myself and I'm going to make them laugh. And that kind of was
so
my thing. And then it kind of just gave me more confidence because I was like, if I can make myself laugh and I can make friends this way and I can be a better person by it and I can have a positive outlook on things, that's just what I'm going to do. And and when you keep doing that for yourself, you kind of just forget about what anyone else thinks.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
Yeah.
But that's kind of how it happened with me. And that happened at a much earlier age than I think a lot of people find it.
I think it takes a lot of people a long time.
But it wasn't like I've always been like this or I've always had this nice life of like being able to like be free. It's taken a lot of fucking work.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's paid off.
Yes, definitely.
And yeah, Mel, you're just fabulous. You're like,
oh, isn't that nice?
I'm like, you're the mother I never had. I had a wonderful mother. I have a wonderful mother.
Yeah, she's still alive.
She's still alive. But yeah, no, I mean, it's just, Mel, you've taken me in.
Oh.
And you've just made me feel at home right in a place that was not.
Oh.
Yeah. I love you so much.
That's very nice.
I mean, the funniest part about this is that people think we're lovers.
I know. It's really very
or
funny.
that I'm your daughter.
So we've had the whole gamut.
Much. It's so
We've
fucking
had the whole
funny.
gamut. Are you mother and daughter? Have you had a relationship? Are you in a relationship?
Mm-hmm.
Are you friends with benefits?
It's so fucking
funny. Are you
funny.
in some kind of threesome?
Do you want to do a
arrangement?
threesome?
Yeah, we've had that a lot. Do you want to join my threesome? My favorite of the whole. So we've started the podcast in February. My favorite is whoever this guy is who keeps saying he wants to clean for us, which I'm just fascinated by what that means.
I wonder if he would. And
now, what
we
does
should
he mean?
try.
And he's probably going to tell us now. Is clean? What do you mean exactly?
What are you cleaning?
What are you cleaning? That's the bit that's a little concerning. And is this to do with cleaning and you not wearing clothing? Because I don't
us
think
not wearing clothing.
Maybe I've never at any point suggested that I needed a cleaner that didn't have clothes because it's really not a good idea.
It's a little dirtier, if you know what I mean. It's not very clean.
I mean, especially a man cleaning a house with bits dangling around. It's not a good idea. And you could do yourself really some harm with all those cleaning products.
You really could. You don't want to dip your
jangly bits.
Wrong bucket, do
Can you imagine? Oh, God.
In the Drano.
Oh, I don't even want to. My mind's going to all these funny places.
All right. But if you do have, we started this podcast because we wanted to connect with other people who maybe didn't feel like they could connect with anyone else or wanted a little bit more fun in their lives. And we want to keep that going, obviously. We want to reintroduce ourselves and get everyone to still keep sharing. I know a lot of you had. There's a lot of new listeners on. Thank you so much for tuning in to us.
Mm-hmm. And keep sharing because we've had some amazing stories.
And hilarious.
And hilarious. And some things that were probably
And
very
serious.
hard
Yes.
to share. And you couldn't have shared them anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you very much for sharing them. And keep doing it, because I think it does make it. I'm a great believer that it does make it a bit easier.
It does.
And you don't have to tell us. A lot of the time, people don't tell us their names or anything. Or
No.
they don't give us all the details. They give us.
And obviously, if we
The
do share it on this, it's all anonymous.
Yeah.
Um,
But it could help. Just to also
definitely
hear
does.
your problem or your thing that's happened to you said out loud.
yeah.
Even that can actually lighten the burden.
And it might help other people
100%.
come out with their problems too, which is
100%.
wonderful.
It is, because
Inspiring.
we all have shit happen. We all make mistakes.
We all got a dick in the butt.
A dick in the butt. Really?
Accidentally. Once in a
dick in-
while.
Do you know, I read that? Oh, on Reddit. Reddit is the cesspool of
great
life.
is on Reddit, isn't it?
And it was this girl who was saying, "Oh, and
Just
what-
slipped in there.
it just what do you think?" And
happens to all
everyone
of
was
us.
going crazy. What do you mean? What do you think? No, he should ask you. Yes. Anyway, this is another whole podcast. Off topic again.
Yeah, I think that's it for us on
It
that.
is.
If you guys have any other questions about our relationship, if you want to come clean for us, we'll talk about it. We'll think about it. We might not do it, but you can ask.
You can ask. I always say that. You can always ask.
You can always ask.
I may never answer.
May say
you.
no.
Yeah.
But you can always ask.
You can ask. Free country.
Yeah. Love you guys. Thank you so much again for tuning in.
Until next time.
Bye. Sharing My Truth Pod is so excited to partner with Vibrator.com, where the A in vibrator is the number 8. This is an extremely exclusive code where no other podcast has it. If you go to Vibrator.com right now, use the code MS15, that's MS15 at Vibrator.com. You can now get 15% off anything in store. That's any sex toys for you, your partner, your neighbor, your mom. We don't judge. We don't care. Get it now. Go to the link in our bio, put in the code, and get jiggy with it.